Good morning. Hi all. So this is example 17. So let's look at this. What we have here is this time we have someone retiring. So in the first two videos we've looked at someone coming in, and we're looking at someone retiring. And the same principle applies when it comes to goodwill. Imagine you've worked in an organization for a long time and you have contributed and the organization has grown. But remember that when you look at a statement of financial position or a balance sheet, all you see are the tangible assets, what you can actually see, the A minus L. But there's this other asset, of course, of goodwill that you have worked hard towards, and we just can't see it at the time of when we prepare our set of accounts. So what must happen, right, is that there is an asset, an intangible asset that you, if you're leaving, you deserve a share of. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do here. Work out that share that you deserve on leaving. So it says that we have three characters here. Rob, Mark, and D, or Die, have been in partnership for a number of years, sharing profit in this ratio 3 to 2 to 1. And Rob is leaving. So, and it tells at that date, the goodwill was valued at 60,000. So let's just kind of, and this is the information we have, the capital accounts. I'm just going to go to a new page and kind of just do it, kind of teach it, and then go on to, it's an example so you can see this in your textbooks. But just so you, again, Rob, I want you to be able to do it both ways. Rob, Mark, and D. I want you to be able to, at any time, pull up a blank piece of paper and just draw out the accounts easily without even thinking about it. So capital accounts, Rob, Mark, and D, 65, 55 and 40, 65, 55 and 40, and then it's telling you that they also have current accounts. So, you know, now you know why these are on the credit side. I don't want, what I'm trying to avoid is I don't want someone saying to me, oh, and why is this on the credit side? We've done all of this idea of capital being a credit, right, because of the accounting equation. Okay, great. So here are their current accounts. So let's draw their current accounts. Rob as well. I mean, remember I explained that current accounts are just capital, that they're just the fluctuating bits, the bits to do with profit, drawings, interest on capital, interest on drawings, right? So forgive me, I have a cold, so I may blow my nose from time to time, but I'll move away from the screen. Okay, let's carry on. So Rob, what is his capital account? I'm sorry, his current account. Current account for Rob, 8, 5, and 2. That's what we have here. So we have 8, 5, and 2. So D technically right now, sorry, who's leaving? Let's just see. So everybody, Rob's stake in this business right now is 65 plus 8. Mark, 55 plus 5. D, 40 plus 2. That's really all capital. So he's leaving. So if everything, Rob's leaving, right? If there was no goodwill, all we would simply do is simply, I guess you could think about it as having two accounts. You could transfer the 8 from here first into here, and then just pay him out of the bank. When someone is leaving, all we're doing is giving them their share of the business. So it literally would be credit bank, because money's leaving out of the bank, the business bank account, right, to that person's personal bank account, and debit their capital account, and technically their capital and their current accounts, because we should really transfer this over here when they're leaving. So you could do it that way. I probably will do it that way first. So since Rob's leaving, I really should transfer this out of here, 8,000 out of here into this. So technically Rob should get 73,000, but they tell us there is the asset of goodwill. They tell us that goodwill is currently valued at 60,000. So in looking at the ratio in which they share things, that's 3 to 2 to 1. So what should I do? I create this. I'm going to use a different pen color. I create this asset of goodwill. So I have the asset of goodwill. So I have goodwill. 60,000 is an intangible asset, and I split this asset between the three parties in their ratio. So that since this is 3 to 1, so Rob will get 30, Mark will get 20 and Di will get 10. Right? So what really, this is the mechanics. The mechanics are really important. This is the mechanics of how it works. So Rob deserves £30,000. I mean, if you don't want to, if you don't, how else can I prove it? Rob could force you all to sell the business, and if you sell the business, this 60,000 will realize. The 60,000 is basically saying that this business is 60,000 worth more than we are recognizing it on the balance sheet, right? That's what goodwill is, based on reputation. Okay, so this is all that Rob deserves. But like I say, the asset of goodwill cannot remain. This is the mechanics, and I'll say what the mechanics is, and I'll also say then what it also literally really means. So what we're now saying is, well, we can't keep the asset of goodwill because it's intangible, because the business is carrying on. So we now we now need to eliminate the goodwill. Oops, sorry. We now need to eliminate the goodwill based on since after Rob leaves, Mark and Dee will continue to share profits in the ratio 2:1. So that means that we now split the goodwill based on the new profit sharing ratio between the remaining parties. And so 2:1 is 40 and 20 to Di. So in essence, what's really happened is that Mark and Dee have had to buy, if you like, or pay off Rob, pay him his goodwill from their capital accounts. That's the essence of what's really happened. But the mechanics are so important because that's how we deal with it, right? We don't deal with it logically. But the mechanics help us understand the logic of it. So in essence, both of them have contributed. So Dee's given 10 and Mark's given 20, right? That's ultimately what's happened, because you can see the difference between this and this. So he's given 20 and she's given 10 to Rob from their capital account. So Rob can now leave with this amount. So now technically, if we had all the money in the bank, we would just debit Rob and credit bank, but we don't. The question tells us that, unfortunately, that it says that he would be paid 20,000 now, and the remainder would be a loan. So really, this is why double entry is so important. Well, if it's going to be paid 20,000 now, there's 20,000 here, and 20,000 out of the bank, and we're saying he's no longer a capitalist, so to speak, in our business. He's now a loan holder, so he's now L. So he's no longer, right? A is equal to C plus L. You could come in lending us money as C. When I say lending us, giving us money as C, being an equity holder. But he's no longer a C, he's now an L. So what am I doing? I'm literally dropping C to raise L, right? I'm transferring his stake in the business from being an equity holder to being a loan holder. So the difference here between all of this, so 65 plus 30 is 95, 95 plus 8 is 103. So 103 from here, I believe is 83, I think. Yes, so 83 from here goes into some kind of loan account, which will come under probably non-current liabilities from now on. So Rob's now like a loan or a business, a bank technically, a loan company to us. And that, I mean, Rob's equity account is now closed. Yeah, I think I got this right in terms of my addition. Let me just get my calculator out very quickly. So 65,000 plus 8,000 plus 30,000. This is 103 minus 20,000. Yes, perfect. So that works, and that's how this carries on, right? Great. So let's just quickly look at the page to see what they've done. Now here's the thing. Look, again, like I say, they put everything in one under one sort of heading called capital accounts, and you need to be able to do that. I'm just doing it. I'm teaching, so I can use different T accounts. I have to, and then I can bring it all into one. So that's the balances brought down for both of them. Those are their current accounts. Sorry, these are their capital accounts, their current accounts. Their current accounts are in your textbook. I haven't. The current accounts must be on the next page in your textbook. Let's quickly go to, this is page quickly look at that. Oh, I've broken the 10-minute barrier. I didn't want it to be this long. Okay, very quickly, I'm going to do there, go there, very quickly. Yep, you can see, here we are, page. Oh, the current accounts should be on the first page of my, down here. Oh, here we are, here are the current accounts. So you can see the capital accounts are here. Bang, bang, bang. The current accounts are here. Bang, bang, bang. And then you can see I transferred the 8,000 to his current account. Look at that. That's it. It comes out of here and it comes here, right? Because Rob is leaving. We leave everyone else alone because they're staying on, right? And then we now deal with it. Create the goodwill, split the goodwill between the initial parties. Then what we then need to do is resplit the goodwill. You probably see that on the next. You see that on page 80. If you look at page 80, if you look at the first part of page 80, you will see me resplitting the goodwill between the existing partners 2 to 1. So you see 40,000 and 20,000 on the credit side of your capital account. If you look on page 80 at the top, and I've done that earlier on. Okay, great stuff. So do TYU5. And carry on and also have a look at question 6. I will start there on example 18 on Monday. But the mechanics of how all this is working, you want to make sure you're comfortable with. Okay, great stuff. Thank you.